Today's shir is Leila Nishmat, Elimelech ben Levi Yitzchak, Osher Shmuel Chaim ben Ephraim, Mitziona, Esther bas Sarah, Osher ben Yosef, Rivka bas Yitzchak Isaac, Mira bas Yaakov, Tzvida ben Chaim Pesach, Yitzchak ben Sarah, Devorah bas Yitzchak, Avraham ben Mordechai David, Ruvain ben Shmuel, Chana Golda bas Yisrael, Chaim ben Fega, Yaakov ben Yitzchak, Chana Itel bas Moshe David, Yeshua ben Shmuel, Matalea bas Elio, Mordechai Netzach ben Rivka, Shoshana bat Clara, Batya Esther bat Benyamin, Asha Vilana bas Esther, Zalman Leib ben Moshe, and Amichai ben Yaakov, Leila Nishmatam. Leila Nishmat, Baruch Shneir ben Avram, Leila Nishmatam. Today's shir is about giving rebuke. A very difficult mitzvah, how and when to give rebuke. And the Talmud tells us about rebuke. It's a very, very difficult mitzvah. There's a mitzvah, there's a mitzvah in Vayikra Yutes, you shall rebuke your friend. So the Talmud says in Yevamot Samachei, Kishem shemitzvah loy medavar hanishma, just like there's a mitzvah to rebuke someone when there's a chance that he might what? Listen. Kach mitzvah shaloi loy medavar shalo nishma. So there's also a mitzvah not to say anything when you know that he won't listen. Amazing Gemara in Yevamos, page 65. Just like there's a mitzvah to give rebuke when there's a chance that the guy will listen, so too there's a mitzvah not to say anything when you know there's a chance that the guy won't listen. Because then all you're doing is what? Causing friction and needless hatred. You're beating a dead horse. So you have to use the fifth of Shulchan Aruch. How many Shulchan Aruchs are there, Chanoch? There are 4, right? There are 4 sections, but the 5th one, what's that? Common sense. If you don't have that, the other 4 don't work. Okay? So what about this mitzvah to give rebuke? Vayikra Yutes, rebuke your friend, and then it says, Lo sisa olav chet. But while you're rebuking him, make sure you don't bear sin because of that. What does that mean? Says Rashi, Lo talbin es pana barabim. Don't rebuke in public, because you're embarrassing. Even though there's a mitzvah to give rebuke, but if you rebuke him in public, then you are shaming him, and you're becoming the sinner.
What's the source?
Vayikra Yutes, Pasuk 17. Vayikra 19, Pasuk 17. It says, rebuke your friend, but but don't bear sin because of him. What does that mean? What does A got to do with B? Says Rashi, while you're rebuking him, talbin es panav barabim. Make sure that you're not embarrassing him in public. Because if rebuking him in public, it's a terrible sin. You're shaming him. You might end up losing your olam haba. Why is that? Because you're shaming someone. It's like you're spilling his blood. You know, his face changes from white to red. You're draining his blood. So you think you're doing a mitzvah, you're doing an aveda. So rebuke should only be done in private, between 4 eyes. Zisel, 4 eyes.
Is doing something so terrible that you have to stop it.
Oh, Maddie, you must have ESP. That's exactly what I'm going to be talking about. Okay? We're going to be talking about that, okay? Okay. So let's get started. In this week's parsha that we read yesterday, Yaakov Avinu rebukes his sons. He rebukes his sons, and then the Torah says, in the end of Vayechi, that he blessed them all. So Rashi wonders, what do you mean he blessed them all? The Reuven, Shimon, and Levi didn't get a blessing. All they got was harsh rebuke. Right. So Rashi says, Yochel shlei berach Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. I might think he did not bless Shimon and Levi and Reuven. So here in the Chama, Rashi says that Reuven, Shimon, and Levi also got a bracha, but for some reason the Torah did not record it. Okay? So Rashi is saying that Reuben, Shimon, and Levi, even though only rebuke is written, they also received the blessing, because the Torah says, Vayevorech otam, he blessed them all. So Rashi said, what do you mean? Reuben, Shimon, and Levi only got harsh rebuke. So Rashi says, yes, but they also received the blessing. For some reason, the Torah did not seem fit to record Reuben and Shimon and Levi's blessing. The question is, why not? Because we know the Torah is not a history book. The Torah is GPS. GPS, God's personal system. For some reason, Reuben and Shimon's blessing had no bearing for us today. Unlike the other blessings of the brothers who were recorded, because it speaks to us. For some reason, says Rashi, Reuben and Shimon and Levi, although they also received the blessing, their blessing is not recorded because it's not relevant for me. And the Torah only speaks to current events. To me, yes?
Now, where does it say Vayevorech otam?
It says by Bereshis Mamtes, Pasuk Chavches, Kol Eile Shiftei Yisrael Shnei Masor. All of these are the 12 tribes of Israel, 12. V'zo shediber lahem vayevorech otam, he blessed them. Ish asher gvartocha berech otam. Everyone got a blessing. In Bereshis 49, Pasuk 28, it says he blessed each one of them. Each one got a blessing. So Rashi says, wait a minute. Reuben, Shimon, and Levi did not get a blessing. Only rebukes us. Rashi says they did, but for some reason the Torah does not record it, because the Torah only records what's relevant for me for today. Okay? Yes?
Okay, also a rebuke can be a blessing. Because maybe they will change their...
Very good. Now, you anticipated the Arachayim.
Yeah.
So, Mickey Sunshine anticipated the Arachayim HaKadosh, make my day. He says you don't have to say that, because, like Mickey said, when a parent gives a rebuke to a child close to death, that's really a bracha. Because it makes you aware of your responsibility, and it points out where you have to improve yourself. So when a parent rebukes a child, that, like Mickey and Orachayim say, you're in good company, that's a great bracha. You hear that? Because otherwise, how do you aware where to improve? Right? Only a parent can give proper rebuke, which is a bracha, otherwise you'll never improve. What am I doing wrong? If you point out my character flaws, I'll be able to improve and become a better human being. And that's the greatest bracha, Chanoch. So rebuke from a parent is a bracha, especially when it's done close to death. We'll talk about why. Because then you can correct your behavior, and that's a true bracha. To know what character faults you have, in what areas you have to improve. Right?
Right.
Yes, Chanoch?
So how do we know when the Torah doesn't say something, what that means?
I'm telling you, the Torah only records what I need to know for the year 2015. The Torah is not a history book. People said, how come Moshe's sons are not in the Torah? Right? Because the Torah is GPS. The Torah only records what I need to know for the here and now. And if it's not relevant for me, it's not in the Torah. Okay? So, a bracha given by a parent close to death, a rebuke is a real bracha, because it helps me fulfill my potential, points out my character flaws and defects, and makes me aware, right, of my shortcomings and where to focus my what? My tshuva. My tshuva. So the question is, why did Yaakov wait until his deathbed to rebuke them? Why did he wait? There's a strange Rashi in Sefer Devarim, of all places. Strange Rashi in Sefer Devarim of why Yaakov held his fire until he was close to death to rebuke Reuben, Shimon, and Levi. Strange Rashi in Devarim. Eila Devarim Shedibra Moshe. Moshe also holds his fire, does not rebuke the Yidden until close to death. The book of Devarim is said in the last few days of Moshe's life, and it's rebuke. So Rashi wonders, why does Moshe hold his fire and not rebuke the Yidden only close to death? So Rashi says, Moshe did not rebuke the Yidden elosomach lamita, only close to death. Who did he learn from? Who did he learn from, Moses? From Yaakov. Moshe held his fire, did not rebuke only close to death. He learned from father Yaakov. And Rashi quotes the Midrash. Why did Yaakov hold his fire and not rebuke his sons until close to death? So Rashi quotes the Midrash. Ruvain beni. Yaakov is speaking to his son Ruvain. Not everything is in the written Torah. The written Torah is shorthand code. But the oral Torah elaborates what he told his sons before he began to rebuke them. Ruvain beni, my son Ruvain. Ani oimelecha. Rashi is quoting Midrash Rabbah in Devarim Aleph. I'm telling you, mipnei maloi chachticha kol hashonim halalu. Why didn't I rebuke you all of these years, Ruvain? Why did I hold my fire and I did not rebuke you all of these years? Why? Why was I quiet? Madu avalama. So if you look in Pashas Vayishlach, in Vayishlach Yaakov, there's amazing pasuk. In Pashas Vayishlach, Vayelech Ruvain Vayishkav et Bilha, Pelegesh Aviv. Ruvain went and he slept with Bilhah, his father's concubine. Bereshis 35, you could look it up. Bereshis 35, pasuk 22. Bereshis Lamed Hey Chavbeit. Vayelech Ruvain Vayishkaf et Bilhah Pelegesh Aviv. Ruvain went and he slept with Bilhah, his father's concubine. The Talmud in Shabbos says he actually didn't do it. He played around with the beds. Talmud in Shabbos 55 says that. But Uncle Unkelus, Yehuda, Uncle Unkelus says, Vazal Ruvain ushchiv in Bilhah. Yiddish Sharona. Unkelus says, tell it like it is. Unkelus, the conduit of the oral Torah, Esther. Unkelus is our oral Torah through a ger, no less. The oral Torah that we have is passed through Uncle Unkelus. He's a ger. Koinky dinky? Unkelus says, Vazal Ruvain, Ruvain went, Yehuda, Ushchiv in Bilhah. What does that mean? Slept with Bilhah. Well, you don't like it, right? Tell it like it is. All right? He didn't sleep a wink that night, huh? Unkelus doesn't follow the Talmud. Strange, Elisheva. Unkelus and usually the Talmud line up. The Talmud wants to sugarcoat it. Didn't actually do it, but Unkelus says he did it. And then it says, Vayishma Yisrael. His father heard about it, and then there's something very strange, Zisel. In the middle of the pasuk, there's a psik. There's a space in the middle of the pasuk. You never have a space in the middle of a verse. In a Torah scroll, you don't have you have a space between parshas, but you never have a space between in the pasuk itself. In this pasuk, you can look it up. Bereshis Lamed Hey pasuk Chav Bet. Vayelech Ruvain Vayishkaf et Bilhah Pelegesh Aviv. Vayishma Yisrael. His father Israel heard about it. Then there's a psik. There's a blank space.
Father Yaakov.
Beautiful. Ooh, Malka. There's a pause there. There's a pause there. And then it says, Vayiyu b'nei Yaakov shnei masar. The sons of Jacob were 12. Who doesn't know that the sons of Jacob are 12? Why? Yisrael heard what his son did. There's a pause. And then comma. Vayiyu b'nei Yaakov shnei masar. And the Bnei Yaakov remained 12. Remain 12. Ooh. The pause is, bite your tongue, Rabbi Yaakov. He wanted to curse him out, but there's a pause there. He was struggling with himself. He bit his tongue. It's done. And because he didn't say anything, Vahi b'nei Yaakov shnei mosar. Therefore, the b'nei Yaakov remained what? 12. Otherwise, he would have taken off. He would have taken off. And this is what the Midrash in Devarim is speaking about. Rashi in Devarim Aleph. Why did he pull? Why did he bite his tongue? Why did he wait, buddy? Pause, bite your tongue, it's done. And therefore the Bnei Yaakov remain 12. And therefore Rashi in Devarim Aleph, why Moshe held his fire and didn't rebuke until the end, he followed Jacob. And now the Midrash Rabbah quotes Yaakov Avinu. Ruvain b'ni, my son Ruvain, I'm telling you, why did I not rebuke you all of these years? You did such a terrible sin. Why did I bite my tongue, Nechama? Kidei shaloi tancheni v'telech v'tidbak b'esav ochi. You hear this, Rivka? Kidei shaloi tancheni. I was afraid you would leave me. V'telech v'tidbak b'esav ochi. If I would rebuke you on the spot, you would leave me and join Uncle Esav in the circus. I couldn't take that chance. Therefore, Nechama, I had to bite my tongue and not say anything until close to death, because I didn't want to lose you and break up the family. You hear this? You hear this? Didn't want to lose the family, one for the Rivka. And V'chein Yehoshua, Rashi is quoting a Sifri. Rashi, the Devarim 1, is quoting a Sifri. V'chein Yehoshua did not rebuke the Yidden elasamach lemita. V'chein Shmuel Hanavi did not rebuke his sons and Jews. V'chein David. V'chein David. V'chein Shmuel, Yeshua, Moshe, they all held their fire, but he did not rebuke until what? Close to death. They learned from Father Yaakov, because he did not want to lose his family. Reuven would leave, Shimon and Levi, they'd join Esav in the discotheque. He couldn't take that chance.
That's right, he was right.
So he had to bite his tongue. Bite his tongue. Yaakov Avinu. I don't understand this Rashi. No. I don't understand this Rashi.
Okay. In my first husband's family,
yes,
there was a rabbi,
yes,
and the son wanted to know about Jesus Christ. Instead of the father talking to him, he smacked him across the face. The kid ran away from the family, and I don't know what it ever became of him.
Terribly wrong. Let me tell you, Hakash. Let me tell you, this is from Rav Yazdi, one of the great Gedolim today, Rav Yazdi. Hakas varchaka eino mo'ilim mishum matzav. Rav Yazdi, one of the superstar rabbis today, he's Mekarev v'chokim. He says anger and pushing away by rebuking a wayward child, eino mo'ilim mishum matzav, helps, never helps. Parents make a terrible mistake when they drive a wayward child away. You hear? He says it's a terrible mistake. They cause the son to go further away. By driving him away, they cause him to go further away. The rak and only horim shemshichu bahava, only parents that continue to love a sinful child, zachu lachziro b'tshuva. Only they are zoicha to what? Bring them back with tshuva. If they continue to show love for a wayward child. You hear this?
Yes, this is a whole new series for you of shirim in chinuch banim.
Right.
You have so many children going off the derech.
Because their parents were too harsh with them.
They're angry.
They're angry.
Their own agenda.
They didn't know when to bite their tongue. They didn't follow Father Yaakov. Maisa avot simin labanim sheli. Maisa avot simin labanim. Please hear me well. People think the Torah is a history book. Chas v'sholem Chanoch.
The issue of timing for rebuke is problematic because let's say, God forbid, Yaakov died before his time. He was
Okay.
hit by lightning, and he never was able to make the point.
Ask a better question. Ask a better question. Chanoch, I'll up you one. Rashi and the Midrash limit rebuke close to the death of a parent or a leader, right? I don't understand. But Mitzia, page 31, Sharona, says, it says rebuke. You anticipated me, huh? Anticipation is making me wait.
Why does it say?
It says rebuke, rebuke, Leviticus 19. Afila meya pamim. Yiddish, Lingi, you hear this? She asked a bomb kasha. Rivka did.
How?
1 minute. How could the Medrash limit rebuke to what? Close to death? When there's a mitzvah in the Torah, Leviticus 19, rebuke, rebuke, says twice. So Talmud says, Afilu meya pa'amim. And it says nothing about holding your fire at all. So where's Yaakov coming from?
Where the rod spoil the child.
So the answer is, right, Rivka, good kasha. When is rebuke afilu meya pa'amim, Maddie? When b'shas hachet, well, you can still do something about it. B'shas hachet, he's about to sin, he's in the middle of the sin, you can still stop him. Then the chama 100 times. Aval achar hachet, once the cat is out of the bag, once the milk is already spilled, bite your tongue. Because it's too late. Meya pa'amim b'shas hachet. Know what that means? While he's about to sin. Stop him. Of course 100 times, if there's a chance he'll listen. Otherwise, don't say nothing even then. Right? But b'shas hachet afilu meya pa'amim. But achar hachet, Reuven did the deed. He did it already. You're going to rebuke him. He's going to run away and join Esav in the circus. So Yaakov had no choice. Vayishma Yisrael. Pause. In the middle of a pasuk, there's a break. You never have that. He bit his tongue. Should I say? Shouldn't I say? Pause. Big space in the middle of a verse. And because he didn't say anything, the Chama, Vahiu b'nei Yaakov shnei masar. Therefore, his sons remained 12. Otherwise, Reuven would have taken off for the circus or the disco. And Shimon and Levi would have gone who knows where. So, b'shas hachet chanoch afilu meya pa'amim. But after a chet, and that's only when there's a chance when they listen, but after a chet, then you're supposed to hold your fire, lifnei amita. And Rashi gives a few reasons, because you're going to be mitbayish him, you'll drive him away, you'll shame him. The milk is already spilled. The cat is out of the bag.
You're licking the milk.
You're going to create ill feelings, and you'll drive him away further than that. You hear this? There's a famous story of a chassid came to the Baal Shem Tov, Maddie. It's a famous story. But the chassid said, my son is a sinner. He eats chazir, and he does other averot. What should I do, holy Baal Shem Tov? You know what his Shem Tov told him? It's your fault. You don't show him enough love. You're too harsh with him. Love him more. Be more gentle with him. And this way you'll bring him back. And this is what Rav Yazdi says. Hakas farchaka eino mo'ilim b'shim matzav. Rak horim shemshichu b'hava. Zochu lachziro b'tshuva shalema. Anger, harsh rebuke, can turn a person away. If the sin is already done, then what are you going to do? You're just going to alienate him more. And Rashi says you'll be embarrass him. Machicho v'choza machicho, and mitbayish him, and therefore you should hold your fire until what? But the Chanoch had good question. How do you know when you're going to die, right? How do you know? You don't get a telegram from the Malach HaMavis, right? Huh? The Vilna Gaon said, Rivka, don't laugh. The Vilna Gaon said that white hairs are a telegram from the Malach HaMavis. The Vilna Gaon said this. Esther, you hear? That white hairs are a telegram from the Malach HaMavis. An email. It's later than you think. Ready or not, here I come.
It's a good thing nobody has my hearing about
What? A singing telegram, right? A singing telegram. Who said that? Yes?
You got a beautiful head of white hair.
Oh, I got a lot of telegrams. I got a lot of telegrams. I see you're a little skeptical. Okay.
Well,
Tehillim Nun Aleph, Malka, my turn. You'll have your chance. Tehillim Nun Aleph, the classic Tehillim of Tshuva. Tehillim Nun Aleph, Bevo Elav Nosan Hanavi. After David sinned with Bathsheba, Nosan Hanavi came to rebuke him. Kasher Boel Bathsheba. He came to rebuke him. Kasher Boel Bathsheba. What does that mean, Rivka? No, if you read the English, it says Nosan Hanavi came to rebuke him after he came to Bathsheba. That's what the English, but English we know. Kasher doesn't mean after. Achar means after. So why does the English translate after he came to Bathsheba? It doesn't say after. It says Bevo Elav Notan Hanavi Kasher Boel Bathsheba. When he, just like he came to Bathsheba. Rivka, what does that mean? Are you fastened in? Nosan Hanavi in Psalm 51 came to rebuke David, Kasher Boel Bathsheba. Just like David came to get a date with Bathsheba. But Rebbe Pam Zatzal says, what does this mean? Diesel, are you listening? When David came to get a date with Bathsheba, how did he come to her? Lovey-dovey, kuchi-shmuchi, otherwise no date. That's the way Nosan Hanavi came to rebuke David. We don't think like that, Chanoch. We think Nosan Hanavi came and he said, you no goodnik, you shagets. He came throwing stones and dirty diapers. Remember Bar Ilan Street? He used to throw dirty diapers. Says my Rebbe Rapam, Zecher Tzadik Avracha, Rabbi Yaakov, I had great Rabbeim. Bevoy Elav Nosan Hanavi, Kama. How did Nosan Hanavi come to rebuke David? Kasher Boel Bathsheba. Kasher Bo. Just like King David came to Bathsheba to get a date. How did he come, Esther? Lovey-dovey, sweet talk. Otherwise, no date. That's exactly the way Nosan Hanavi came to rebuke David. And my Rebbe said, if you can't give rebuke the way Nosan Hanavi did to David with a hava and lovey-dovey talk, don't get involved. Don't say anything. If you can't do it, Kasher Boel Bathsheba, the way Nosan Hanavi did it, then you're wasting your time. Who knows this, Beryl?
Did it help?
Of course it helped. He did tshuva. Didn't he do tshuva? He said chatasi. He said chatasi. Because Nosan came to him in Psalm 51, Kasher Boel Bathsheba. You read the English Torah and you get all mixed up. They say after he came to Bathsheba. But after Zachar, right? It says Kasher. Just like David came to Bathsheba, kuchi shmuchi, otherwise no date, right, Esther? That's the way Nosson came to rebuke him. Says my great Rebbe Rapam, Zeichet Tzadik Livracha. And if you can't give rebuke that way, it is counterproductive, and don't say anything. Now, it'll be your turn soon. Hold that, Tiger. Hold that question. All right, go ahead. You might forget it. Go ahead, no?
No, I'm not going to forget it. I don't know if I...
Go ahead, no? Spit it out. Spit it out.
But it wasn't the first Abigail came to David. She risked her life to come to David.
No.
To tell him not to kill Naval.
Not to kill Naval. Naval was Chayiv Mitah. He was married by Malchus. Okay. So she risked. So she also came with sweet talk. Lovey-dovey. Very good, Malka. Lovey-dovey. That's right. And it won out, and he didn't. That's right. Right? He married her later, Abigail, right? Right? She was married to this lowlife. His name was Lowlife. He was a lowlife.
She risked her life, and she said to him, "You're going to do something later.
Now opened up.
You don't need this on your record now. Your face."
You're right, Malka. You're right. Now, how could such a righteous tzaddik as Neviah, Avram Berkowitz, Abigail is one of the 7 Nevi'im in Tanakh. You know that, Abigail? Look, Megillah 14. She's one of the 7 Nevi'im. How could she be married to this guy Noval? What does Noval mean? Low life. Ben Ish Chai, loser. The Ben Ish Chai asked the Bam Kasha. How? What do you mean it happens? What do you mean it happens? The Talmud says in Sota, 40 days before Baskol, there's no mistakes. A heavenly voice buddy comes out and says, this one will marry that one. So Ben Ish Chai wonders, how could a tzaddikas prophetess like Abigail be married to such a lowlife? God makes shidduchim. So how could God set this up? So Ben Ish Chai says something amazing. He says something amazing. He says, to answer this kasha, he asked another. Who was Abigail's primary shidduch? Was it the lowlife or was it King David? What? Who was King David? But first she was married to Naval. So Ben Ish Chai says, you see that sometimes your primary shidduch is not the first one. That's what he says. Sometimes you have to, Zisel, pay your dues with a lowlife to get to the primary shidduch Shoshana. Says the Ben Ish Chai from Baghdad. Ben Ish Chai gave a bracha to Rav Kaduri. He should live long, you know that? Rav Kaduri was a teenager. The Ben Ish Chai gave him a bracha, you'll live long. Live to be 116. Rav Kaduri. But anyway, the Ben Ish Chai says that Abigail, in a previous Gilgal, did something that she had to go through the trauma, Nechama, of having a lowlife for a husband. His name means lowlife. Novel means lowlife. So this tzaddik, this prophet, in a previous Gilgal, did something that she needed to atone to be married to this miserable person. Once the tikkun was made, then he checked out, and now she's ready to marry her primary shidduch was what? King David. So you go through a bad marriage, that's your paying your dues. My first wife told me, I will not have to go to hell. That's what she told me.
Wow.
She told me that. I won't have to go to hell. I'm paying my dues. So you pay your dues, and then you get to the primary shidduch. It's not always the first one. So anyway, once Abigail did her tikkun with this lowlife to pay off a previous debt from a Gilgal's husband Ish Chai, now she's ready to what? To marry her primary, which was David HaMelech. But anyway, speaking about, yes, Abzalman.
Sometimes a person marries a partner and they don't really know them, they fool them, they dress or they act in a certain way and they're acting.
Right.
Once you're married, that negativity comes out. So Novel is the same letters as Lavan. Rubbish. She could have been swindled. She wouldn't want to marry a Lavan.
But why would God allow it?
No, but
God makes shidduchim 40 days before Baskol comes out.
It's free will. You make a mistake, if you made a bad choice,
Yeah.
it's up to you, that's free will. So the Laban Novel was a swindler in the sense of presenting himself in a certain way. Only afterwards, when it came out who he was.
Okay. Okay. Now, there's a pasuk in Parshas Toldot. Vayev Yitzchak et Esav ki tzayid bepiv. Yitzchak loved Esav because he gave him good barbecue. That's what it says in Parshas Toldot. Vayev Yitzchak et Esav ki tzayid bepiv. He gave him good pastrami sandwiches. You hear this, Esther? Because he gave him good barbecue. I think it's called aloesh. Oh, where's the bee, buddy? Since you closed down, I haven't got a good pastrami sandwich. Since Tzaddik's Deli closed down. Because he gave him good barbecue, aloesh, Yehuda. Where's the beef? That's why he loved Esav, ki tzayid bepiv. Because he gave him good barbecue in the mouth. Come on. You speak about Yitzchak Avinu. The Ola Tamima. What does it mean? What?
Esau fooled him.
Yitzchak. But it says he gave him barbecue. That's why he was. What does it mean? Mickey, you can't understand the written Torah without the oral Torah. If you read the written Torah, Ruvain, you're just getting a quarter of the picture, not even a half. So the Gemara in Shabbos Peites says, what does this mean? Shabbos Peites. What does it mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. You really want to know? I'll tell you, if you really want to know. At the end of time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come to Avram Avinu. It says, Bonecha chatoli. Your children have been very sinful throughout all the centuries. Your children have been very sinful, Abraham. What do you say about it? Omar, Avram said, Yimochu al kedusha shemecha. That's not what God wanted to hear. The Isha Chesed, Abraham, Shabbos Peites. You can look it up, 89b. God will confront Abraham at the end of time. Bonecha chatoli. The Jews have been guilty, sinning, one sin after another. Egel Azov, humanism, secularism, communism, New Ageism. It's all Jews. Isms, all Jews. What do you say, Abraham? He says, Yimochu al kedusha shemecha. Let them be destroyed to sanctify your name. That's not what God expected Abraham, the Isha Chesed, to say. You hear that? Isha Chesed? So next, Hashem went to whom? Who did he go? No, he went to Yaakov. He didn't want to go to Yitzchak. Yitzchak's all about din. I don't want to go to him. Yitzchak is the din guy. Yitzchak is the auditor, the inquisitor. I don't want to go to him. Gvura. So he went to Yaakov. He said, the Havelei Tsar Gidol Bonim. Yaakov had so much tourists with his children. Efshe de boy rachme alehem. Perhaps if I confront Jacob, he'll be mispalel for us, because he had so much tourists with his own children, and I'll confront him, and he'll say, he'll be mispalel, show them compassion. Omar, Yaakov said, Yimochu al kedusha shemecha. You hear this, Rabbi Yaakov? You said, Yimochu al kedusha shemecha. That's not what God wanted to hear. Yaakov said, sorry, I can't defend them. For your holy name, get rid of them. Finally, Hashem, no breira, who's left? Yitzchak. The three pillars. Hashem has no choice, so he has to go to Yitzchak, who personifies Midas Hadin. And God wanted to avoid Yitzchak, the din. But no choice, so he goes to Yitzchak. In trepidation. He's the Ishadin. And he says to Yitzchak, this Shabbos Peites or Medbet, you can look it up, Bonecha chatoli, your kids have sinned to me, Yitzchak. What do you say about it? So God is holding his breath, Kaviyachol, right? Amar Yitzchak, Bonai, V'loi Bonecha. God, what are you talking about? They're my children? V'lo Bonecha? And they're not your children? Don't pass the buck to me, God. So the Talmud explains Yitzchak loved Esav. at the end of time to tell God, if I can love Esav despite his evil, then you can certainly love Am Yisrael despite their evil. The tzayid bepiv doesn't mean a pastrami sandwich, buddy. Tzayid bepiv means ammunition in his mouth. Yitzchak loved Esav because he has ammunition in his mouth. At the end of time, he will defend us. Irony of ironies, it's the Midas Hadin guy, the auditor, who will defend us. So why did he love Yitzchak despite being evil? Esav. I'm testing you, see if you're awake. At least somebody's still awake, right? So Shabbos Peites says he continued to love Esav. Tzayid bepiv, because at the end of time, Tzayid means he has ammunition in his mouth to defend Am Yisrael at the end of time, better than Alan Dershowitz. Avram and Yitzchak, no defense. Avram and Yaakov. But Yitzchak, irony of ironies, that the Midas Hadin person, he's the one that will defend us, and that's why he continued to love Esav, despite his evil, to be able to defend us on the Yom Hadin that's coming at the end of time.
But why was it Tzayid Bepiv Shel Esav? I don't get it.
Tzayid bepiv, what?
Tzayid Bepiv Shel Esav.
No, bepiv shel Yitzchak. Tzayid bepiv. Yitzchak loved Esav. Ki tzayid bepiv. He put trappings in his mouth. Bepiv shel Yitzchak. So this is ammunition in Yitzchak's mouth that despite Esav's evil, he'd be able to defend us. If I can continue to love Esav despite his evil, then you, God, must certainly continue to love Am Yisrael despite their evil. Because the love that God has for us is much more powerful than what, Nechama? Than the love that a human being, a parent, can have for a child. We don't realize that, right? More than our parents love us, God loves us. Much more. We can't even relate to that, how much God loves us, right?
From having a child to how to love someone.
Right.
So we learn to appreciate God, because until you have a child, you can't really know how to love.
Right. Now, and this explains a very strange custom of Chaim Shmulevitz. You hear this, buddy? Chaim Shmulevitz, on Erev Yom Kippur, he would go, where did he go Erev Yom Kippur? He'd go daven by a grave of a tzaddik, right? You know where he would go daven? Kever Avshalom. Avshalom, the lowlife, the rebel. Right at the foot of Mount of Olive. There's a Kever Avshalom. Yad Avshalom. Yiddish. So of all places, the great Rosh Yeshiva of Mirror, on Erev Yom Kippur, would go daven Yiddish Eli, not to the great tzaddikim. He would go daven at the Kever Avshalom. So the Talmidim said, Rebbe, Lamdeinu Rabbeini. Lamdeinu Rabbeinu, what are you doing? Why are you going daven at the Kever of this Rasha, this lowlife? He said, you know why I'm going there? You really want to know? I'll tell you why. After all Avshalom did to his father, started a civil war in Klal Yisrael, tried to kill his father, raped his father's concubines. Despite all that, when David heard that this wicked son of his was killed, he should have said what? Good riddance. What did he say? He said, Avshalom bini, 7 times. Halavai, I would have died in your place. Yoya ben Tzeruya freaked out. This lowlife, who started a civil war against Yoya ben Tzeruya, right? Raped the concubines of his own father, tried to kill his own father. So when he heard that he's killed, he should have said good riddance. He said, Avshalom beni, 7 times, halavai, I would have died in your place.
It's a good father.
A father, I can't stop loving you. The love that a parent has for a child is irrational. Despite what the child does, the parent can't. You can divorce a spouse, but you can never divorce a child. Never. So King David, Maddie, 1 second, says Rav Chaim Shmulevitz, I'm going and I'm telling HaKadosh Baruch Hu, If King David can continue to love his rebellious son after all he did to King David, and we know that your love for the Jewish people is much stronger, God, than the love a parent can have for a child. And no matter how bad we are, God, we're not as bad as Avshalom was to his father. We're not that bad. And if David can forgive Avshalom, then you, God, certainly must forgive us, because your love is much more powerful than any parent can love a child. He said, Avshalom beni, 7 times, says Chazal. Why? There's 7 levels of hell. And each level he raised them 7 madregas of Gehenna. And each he raised them out of hell. Despite the love of a parent for a child, it's totally irrational, no matter what the child does, because the child is an extension of his parent. And all of us are chelik elahai mimal. You know that? All of us, it's a pasuk in Devarim. Chelik elahai mimal. It's not just a Kabbalistic term that the Balatanya quotes and he says, mamash. Chelik elahai mamash. It's actually a pasuk in Job 31, but before that, it's a pasuk in the Torah. It's actually a pasuk in the Torah. In Pashas Hazinu, Devarim 32, pasuk 9, Ki chelek Hashem amo. What does that mean? Ki chelek Hashem amo. God is a portion of his people. That's what it says. That every year there's a chelek elahai mimal. So therefore God can't stop loving us despite what we do. So therefore Chaim Shmulevitz went dafke to, it's memlavitz chus on Klal Yisrael. No matter how bad we are, we're not as evil as Avshalom was to his father. And if David can forgive Avshalom despite all he did, then God certainly must forgive us, because love conquers all. Ki chelek Hashem amo. Yes, Maddie.
Do I think I hear what you're saying?
Is
that no matter what you do, it's okay?
I never said that.
But that's what
I never said that. I never said that. People get punished. Everyone pays their dues. But if you're going to rebuke someone at the wrong time, it's counterproductive. It's not going to help, and it's even more than not going to help. And the Talmud says in Yevamot Samachei, Kishem shemitzvah loymar dovar hanishma, kach mitzvah shaloi loymar dovar shalo nishma. You can only rebuke if you do it in a loving and a kind way, and if there's a chance that it's going to help. Otherwise, it's just counterproductive. Like Mickey told the story with this guy, the father slapped him, and there are many cases like that. You read the book Off the Derech. There are many cases like that. Now, the Baal Shem Tov said, Avram, you got to listen to you. Avram, this is show and tell. Avram, can you, when you point a finger at somebody, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you. Elisheva, you want to try this at home? When you point the finger at somebody, says the Baal Shem Tov, there are 3 fingers pointing back to you, said the Baal Shem Tov. You ever try this? Yeah, there are 3 fingers pointing back at me, Lingi, Coinky Dinky.
What do I look like when...
And the Baal Shem Tov says it's not just a visual show and tell, it's actually a pasuk in Pashas Mitzorah. Ooh, I'm glad I came today. The Baal Shem Tov points to a pasuk in Pashas Mitzorah. In Pashas Mitzorah, where are we? Pashas Mitzorah, Pashas Mitzorah. Yeah, I know where it is. Thank you. In Pashas Mitzorah, Tazria. Actually, it's Tazria, because they usually go together. Tazria and Mitzorah go together. So happy together. Vayikra 13. Sharonik, look it up. Vayikra 13, pasuk 45. Vayikra 13, Pasuk 45. It says that the Tsurua, the one who has tsaras, has to call tsaras, leprosy. It's not really leprosy, is it?
But we don't know.
We don't know what it is. So Vayikra 13, Pasuk 45 says, Vatsurua, the one who has tsaras, has to go around V'tamei yikra. He has to call out, I am tamei, get away from me. So Baal Shem Tov says, Yisrael, there are no extra words in the Holy Torah. There's exactly 304,005 letters in the Torah scroll. Maddie, you don't believe me, you can count. Quick, how many letters are in the Torah scroll? 304, 805. There isn't even an extra letter. So how can the Torah write, the tamei yikra? The one who's tamei has to call out, I'm tamei, get away from me. So how come it says, pamayim v'tamei yikra? There are no extra words in the Torah, Avram. Says the Baal Shem Tov, fasten your seatbelts. No, I say this. V'tamei, comma. Let's eat, Grandpa? Let's eat, Grandpa. V'tamei, comma. If someone himself is unclean, tamei yikra, he calls the other person unclean. Says the Baal Shem Tov. When you accuse someone of something wrong, you're projecting your own defect onto him. V'tamei, if you yourself are tamei, an unclean, tamei yikra, you will accuse someone else of that defect that you have behind closed doors.
So why the 3 fingers?
So that's it. You accuse someone, 3 fingers pointing back. Beryl, same idea. You accuse someone, the 3 fingers pointing back, because if you're tamei, you have that character defect, tamei yikra. You accuse others of the tamei that you have. The tamei, if you yourself are unclean, tamei yikra, you will accuse and see the fault in others. Says the Baal Shem Tov, you're supposed to see only
Your own fault.
your own fault. You're supposed to see the good in everybody and your own fault. It's an upside down world. You ever drink a cafe hafuch? Says Baal Shem Tov, upside down world. We see only the good in ourselves and we see the fault in someone else. Right? But the tafkid of a yid, says the Baal Shem Tov, buddy, fakert. To see only the good in others and only to see my own faults. Why? Because the only person that you can change is the guy in the mirror. What good is it to see the fault in somebody else? You can't change the other guy. So just see the good in him. Every person has good in him. So another person, says Baal Shem Tov, accent the positive. Right? Because you can't change him anyway. But in your own self, since I can change myself, I'm supposed to look at my own faults. Because I can't change myself. So you point your finger, 3 fingers pointing back, tamei yikra. It's very easy to accuse others. Right? You see that classic case, Korach. Korach accused Moshe Rabbeinu of being arrogant and haughty. It's so ridiculous. The most humble man on the face of the earth was Moshe Rabbeinu, and Korach accused him of being arrogant and haughty. Says Baal Shem Tov, why? It's called projection. Before Sigmund Freud, the Baal Shem Tov said, projection. You project your own character defects and faults on somebody else to justify your behavior. He's worse than me. Since Korach was arrogant and haughty, he felt a need, Chenoch, to what? Project those character defects and faults onto Moshe Rabbeinu.
How come it's the only
Baal Shem Tov.
How come it's the only the Baal Shem Tov? This is like an emes type limud.
Right.
Why is it just dafka the Baal Shem Tov that?
Well, he didn't make it up. He heard it from his Rebbe. Right?
Sigmund Freud had a Talmud set behind the curtain in his office that he studied.
Right. Sigmund Freud's father was an Orthodox rabbi. You know that? Sigmund Freud. I don't know what happened.
He had a secret.
He went off to Derech. I don't know.
He had a secret library of,
It's a university.
Right?
of Kabbalah.
Yeah.
But he,
Yeah, of what? I don't know. But anyway, we still have a few minutes. I have to... Chief Rabbi Lau has criticized Bennett for visiting a conservative Hebrew day school. Right? But I don't understand him because Rabbi Moshe Feinstein Zatzal ruled that Orthodox rabbis are permitted to teach in conservative Hebrew day schools. Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, the Gadol Hadar, what? Says it's okay for Orthodox rabbis to teach. So I don't understand. What's wrong with visiting a Hebrew day school? What? But who can hold a candle to Moshe Feinstein? To Rabbi Moshe Feinstein? I don't think he would. No one can reach Rabbi Moshe, and he said that Orthodox rabbis are permitted to teach in a Hebrew day, conservative day school. And the Chazon Ish says in Shulchan Aruch Yeridea, chapter 13, all sinners in Israel today have the status of a tinok shenishba beino akum, which means a child captive among the pagans. This means they're unaware of the beauty of Torah true Judaism because they're indoctrinated by decadent Western culture and values. So the Chazon Ish says, you can look it up, Chazon Ish Yeridea, Perek Yud Gimel, Siman Yud Gimel. It is incumbent upon us to restore the sinners only by acts of love and to enlighten them to the greatest extent possible. This is Chazon Ish speaking. Nechama. Now, where did Chazon Ish get this lenient ruling from? Where did he get this? Is he a liberal? You know where he got it from? He got it from Talmud Erchen, page 16, Rabbi Yaakov. Talmud Erchen, page 16. The great Tana of the Mishnah, Rabbi Tarfon. I think he was super Haredi. Rabbi Tarfon, the holy Tana of the Mishnah. The Torah says, Vayikra 19, rebuke a fellow Jew. Said Rabbi Tarfon that even in my generation, no sinner could be condemned, since there was no one to give proper and adequate rebuke. Says Rabbi Tarfon in Erchen, page 16. I quote Rabbi Tarfon from 2,000 years ago, not last year. I wonder if there's anyone in my generation who can give proper rebuke. Because if one says to the sinner, remove the pebble from between your teeth, the sinner will say back to the rebuker, the one who rebukes him, first you remove the wooden beam from between your eyes. You hear this? So, the Chazon Ish, Zecher Tzadik Evracha, in Yeridea 13, is following the opinion of Rabbi Tarfon in Erchen 16. I give you the sources. Erchen 16, who considers every sinner today as one acting prior to rebuke. So we, the Torah-observant community, we must assume responsibility to educate, enlighten, and liberate the brainwashed minds of our non-observant Jewish brethren. Nebuch, they've been brainwashed by decadent Western culture. They're indoctrinated. Nebuch. So the Chazon Ish urges us to love, not hate, teach and not reject any Jew, no matter how sinful he is, because the sinner is ignorant and does not see the beauty of Torah true Judaism. And as the Mishnah says, Hevei mitalmidav shel Aaron, oyev shalom, urodev shalom, oyev et habriot, umekarben laTorah. Thank you very much. Toda rabah. Thank you very much.